In this video, I'm going to teach you 5 ways to improve relationships and develop character for your family, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Lisa McKenzie and this is Homeschool Pick and Mix. I'm a homeschool mum of 4 kids, ages 5 up to 12. I love to help mums have success in their homeschool, and so I like to teach about organisation and management and ideas for building the family unit, as well as curriculum and other homeschool related ideas. If you'd like to learn more, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button so you can be told the next time a video comes out. This is part 1 of a 5-part series on how to improve the relationships within your family. So hitting that notification button is really important so you do get the future videos. The first thing I'd like to talk about is talking in the positive rather than the negative. This is when you frame your sentences to say what you'd like the child to do rather than what you'd like them to stop doing. So if the child is running in the house, you might normally yell, "Stop running!" But this time you'd say, "Walk inside, please." And if they're yelling and you tend to say, "Stop yelling," or even worse, you yell, "Stop yelling," the better way to do it would be to say, "Use your inside voice, please." These are really great ways to be able to speak because it just lowers the tension in the air, like in the environment. It makes you seem less negative and less nitpicky on their behaviours the whole time, and it actually role models the way that you'd like them to speak to others. So if they're normally saying, "Stop playing with my toy," then eventually over time they might learn to say, "Please can you put my toy down?" or "Please can you pass me the toy when you've finished with it?" It's really, really important to talk in the positive rather than the negative, particularly for those of you who have children under 4. For kids in that age bracket, their brain is still developing, and so it has difficulty understanding the opposites of stop and running. So when you yell "stop running," they can't link onto both of those as they are really different, and they tend just to link onto the last thing that you said, which is running. So stop running just becomes running for them. So if you can then instead say, "Walk inside the house, please," they know exactly what to do. You've also used your manners, which is just setting up a beautiful tone and beautiful respect within the family, and they can copy that as well. So use positive speech instead of negative speech when you're speaking with your kids and giving them instructions. Point number 2 that I'd like to talk about is dinner time apologies. Now, I heard about this technique from the Duggar family, who is a large homeschooling family in America. They didn't actually do it at dinner time. They did it after dinner as part of like their sort of devotions and before bed routine. But I find that it works really well at the dinner table because we're all there together and we are having conversation at any rate. So the way dinner time apologies works is you ask the kids, is there anyone who has anything that they feel like they need to apologise for today? Now in this time, you're not letting people yell out things that they think somebody else needs to apologise for. That's not going to go down well, and it will just create strife within the family. So you really are saying does anybody have any feelings inside them that they've hurt somebody that day and they really need to apologise? Now, over time, the kids will start to speak more. In the beginning, they'll find it a bit uncomfortable and a bit weird because you haven't done it before and they're not sure if you're going to, if they're going to get in trouble if they say things like that. And so you're going to want to join in and role model. Think really hard of even the smallest little thing that you've done to somebody. It might be, "Oh, I'm sorry, Johnny, because you came to talk to me today, but I was doing the dishes and I just was so focused and I didn't stop and give you attention. So I'm really sorry for that." And then say, "Can you forgive me?" This is so important because sometimes the other person might have a grudge and they don't know the process of restoration and forgiveness. But if the child apologized and said, "Sorry, so-and-so, I did this, da-da-da-da-da, please will you forgive me?" The child is now drawn into restoration. So they've got a choice to say yes or no. If they say no, you can say, "Oh, okay," and see if you can solve it. If it's small, you might be able to. If it seems really big, say, let's talk about this in a private room together afterwards because it seems like a really big deal and you'd like to give it some time and some thought and space around it. And oftentimes, though, the child will say, "Can you forgive me?" And the other one says, "Yep." And so that is so neat. You've now had this forgiveness of guilt and this restoration so they can connect back together again. It's really neat because sometimes kids can have a feeling of guilt and sort of like condemnation throughout the day because they treated someone badly, but they don't know how to broach it. They don't know how to go up to the person and say, "I'm sorry." It's just all a bit weird. But if they know that it's coming and they know it's tea time, then they can just say, and it's a safe environment. That's really important. So they can just say, "Oh yeah, like I took your pencil and I know that you were looking for it and I took it and I'm really, really sorry and I shouldn't have done that. It was really, really wrong of me," and give it back. So I do encourage dinner time apologies. What I'd like to talk about for point 3 is removing idle time. Now, idle time isn't playtime. All of us need time to decompress, to relax, to enjoy our hobbies and to have fun. And that's really healthy, and I encourage that a lot for children. What I'm talking about is removing idle time. Idle time is when the kids are just wandering around the house and they're not really doing anything. They sort of just slump from one room to another, they lay around, they get up, they sort of just mess things around, they nitpick on brothers and sisters, they interrupt games, and they just sort of start to cause a little bit of trouble. So having a lot of idle time can cause these negative behaviours to come out of kids. They can be bored and frustrated, and they're not focused and they're not productive, and that's where you want them to get to. So what I suggest is a focused hobby. Focused hobbies are fantastic. Even if it's Lego, that's still a focused hobby because they're out there and they're doing something. But it really helps for your child to have a focused hobby. What I'd like to do is I sit with my kids, if I ever notice this comes up, I sit with my kids and we make a list of different things they may be interested in. Some kids have loads more ideas than other kids, and for the kids who have less, what I like to do is go through YouTube and show them different things, or take them to different stores that I just think they might be interested in. It could be sewing stores or sports stores or computer related techie type things, but I'll try and show them different ideas. And then what we'll do is make a list, and it probably has about 5 things on it, maybe even more, and then I'll say to kids, okay, let's just nail this down to what you might be interested in. This is like per individual child, so with each child I do this. And then what I do is, say if they're having trouble getting down to that number 1 thing that they'd like to try, because they can't decide which is their favourite, I like to let them know it doesn't have to be your favourite, it just has to be something that you'd like to give a go, like something that just have a try on. If they still can't pick it, I say, that's okay, I'll choose for you, and then I choose the one that I think that is going to work for them and work for our family the most. Then I take the child shopping if that's applicable, and we go out and we buy the roller skates or the sewing material or the ripstick or whatever it is going to be, the Lego. And then when they come back home, we get them started on it. And then on other days when I'm seeing that they're just starting to wander around again because they can forget that they've got this there that they can access, I say, hey, go and grab your Lego. I can see that you're needing something to do. And they go get it. Or, hey, do you want me to help you learn how to sew this thing that you're trying to sew? Let's get out the fabric and I'll help you start off. So starting them out on this is really important. Some of them they've got the things, but they don't really even know how to use it, and they really need help just to start learning. Even if you're teaching them for 3 or 4 or 5 times in a row, like different days, that's really going to help you in the long run, because for the next few months after that, they're going to have something that they can go to. So invest some time in developing focused hobbies and remove idle time. Another thing that I'd like to suggest is remove individually owning things that the family could actually own as a whole. I'm not talking about birthday presents that kids get that at their teddies and they're really special. Definitely, there are things that you should have that can be yours and they are really neat to have. What I'm talking about is things that can be owned by the whole family that everyone can share and use, and then there's no fighting over it. So it might be that there is one skateboard, and you could actually say, this is now the Jones family skateboard. So anybody who is a Jones family member can use the skateboard. And this is quite good, because if Bobby owned the skateboard, then Johnny might say, I'd like to turn on your skateboard, and Bobby goes, that's my skateboard, you're not having my skateboard. And so then you've got all this friction. Whereas if it was the Jones family skateboard and Johnny wants a turn, and Bobby actually has no right to say, it's mine, because you can say, hang on a minute, this is the Jones family skateboard, Johnny wants to go for it, Johnny. And then you can actually say, Bobby, it's totally cool, you're learning how to share, chill out a bit on this, and if you'd like a turn afterwards, when you see he's not using it, come and get it. If somebody has Lego, what we do, because Lego is really interesting, lots of families have different ways to do it, but what we do is we say, yes, that is your Lego, however, we expect you to be a loving person who shares, and if your brother would like to use your Lego, what's more important, keeping Lego to yourself and being greedy, or having a loving relationship with your brother? They will always pick having a loving relationship with your brother, because they know that's the right thing, and actually they want that more than the plastic Lego. So even though it's hard for them to give that up sometimes, they want this more. And so once you've mentioned it and they've thought about it, they just pick it. And so it works like that quite well. We also do this with drink bottles. So we've got about 10 different styles and colours of drink bottles. And if we're going somewhere like the zoo, I'll just fill up the required amount for the day. And then I'll say, today you've got the green, you've got the blue, you've got the red, you've got the yellow, whatever it is. And the kids just go along with it. There's no worrying about, but I want that one, and I want that, because they just are taught to be grateful for the fact that they've got water and a drink bottle, and that it's just really not nice to fight about it. Relationships are so much more important than who's got what colour. So I recommend giving it a go. See what's in your house that is causing strife and that you can relabel as owned by your family, and teach about the fact that it's just nicer to share and see what comes out of it. I'm sure it can make an improvement for you. Point number 5 is something that we do in our family, and it is called score an extra chore. Now this means if the child has done something where it's involved disobedience, you're going to pop them in the hallway, give them a bit of, or somewhere that you like as a quiet spot, tell them what they're there for. So in our instance, we had a child who was just starting to get into whining. It was getting a little bit annoying. And so when this child spoke in the whiny voice, I would pick it up straight away, wouldn't get involved in the conversation. I'd say, hey, you're using your whining voice instead of your normal one. Come and sit down in the hallway for a minute. Think about that. Think about how you need to speak. And then in 1 minute, come back out, use your normal voice, apologise to me, say what you were going to say originally, and then you've scored an extra chore. And so then the kids come out and we go through this process. It is so effective. For the older kids, we will give chores like doing the dishes or an extra load of washing or putting out the rubbish and things like that. For the younger kids, it might be tidying up the floor in a room or tidying up the shoes by the door or putting away the cutlery. It's just really effective. The kids aren't really wanting to do extra chores. Ours participate in chores quite cheerfully, but extra ones they're not really keen on having, and fair enough too. And it's just been really helpful to quickly limit those behaviours that are growing in a negative way that you don't want to grow, you just want to stop. So I suggest giving it a go and trying score an extra chore. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed part 1 of our 5-part series of improving family relationships in your homeschool. Remember to subscribe and click that bell notification button so you can be notified when the next video in this series comes up. Have a great day.